There's one stock that has government backing. The Department of Defense actually invested in this stock. The ticker is MP. It's MP Materials. And let's jump into the chart right now and take a look at the price levels as well as the fundamental reason this is about to explode. So here's the chart. And this is where we're at. $67 is the pivot level, and we just broke out today from this undercut. Those are technical gobbledygook words, but the point of this stock moving is right here. The U.S. Department of Defense has awarded tens of millions of grants to MP to restart domestic rare earth separation and processing. Okay? And that was this move right here on July 10th. A rather massive investment, $400 million. The Department of Defense became MP's biggest shareholder. It also guaranteed a decade-long price floor, okay, which is almost double the prevailing market price. So imagine you're a company and your biggest customer says, hey, we'll pay double the market price, basically, for nearly a decade for your product. That's insane, okay? But that happened in the summer, all right? And you can see stock went from 30 to 70, and since then, sort of had this earnings tail off, but seems to be recovering well above this $60 base. So the reason it's such a good buy right now is that you can risk off $60 or off 62 if you're really more risky. But there's just a ton of upside given that it held after earnings when so many companies after earnings are just getting crushed. MP actually held. And there's some more information that people are saying to be wary of, that this is similar to state-friendly pricing models seen in China. But hey, all we have to worry about is the stock going to go up in the next few months? Can we get a piece of it while it does? Okay. There was also this $500 million agreement with Apple to supply rare earth magnets and incorporate US-based production recycling infrastructure, including a Texas facility. Okay? Now, $500 million with one of the top 5 companies in the world, one of the largest users of magnets in the iPhone. It's huge, okay? Rare earths is the one segment that the US needs to be a superpower in, and we're trying to onshore chips. Now we're trying to find some rare earth independence as well. And this is kind of similar to the Intel deal, where the government is coming up with this creative 15% of revenue deal. It's not usual for the government to just take stakes in companies, but here we are. It's 2025 and $400 million and a guaranteed doubled minimum price is huge. There's some upgrades as well. Price target's around 80, but I wouldn't worry too much about exactly those numbers. Although, those are sort of good tier investment banks. I wouldn't worry about exactly the Q2 earnings as we look towards Q3 in October, just because we're kind of already past that earnings move. So this is the correct number, of course. It beat expectations of a loss. And it had this 100% surge in this, whatever it is, this element metal compound. I'm not a chemist. The point is, the stock has held after earnings. And generally, when we're looking at earnings moves, they've sort of been pretty ugly, right? TTD being the example I keep coming back to. That is ugly. And the best stocks in the market, Reddit, still had a pretty major sell-off and hasn't bounced as much, even with Jerome Powell's comments on Friday. So this is the stock of the day and of the week, I think, MP Materials. And I couldn't find a better place for investment. I mean, there are also this sort of agreement with General Motors to supply rare earths and alloys. But I would say the main one is with the government, and the Departments of Defense significantly outshadows pretty much any other agreement. So UUUU is also on radar. They're kind of moving on this rare earth separation as well. It's not just uranium. That's why the other uranium names, DNN, is not doing anything special. Or CCGJ is another. It's probably the biggest uranium name. It's sort of not doing anything special, but UUUU is, even if the director sold $300,000 or 10% of his position about mid last week. Actually, Monday on last week, and then the rebound was in the middle. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday futures, and then today on Monday. So we'll see where this moves. But guys, rare earths, they're moving UUUU. MP's next. You can see it already is slightly moving upward, and you have a clear risk level. And it's in a similar breath to Intel, where it's government tied in at this point. Although with Intel, it was an agreement to pay some revenue, whereas in return for a stake, whereas MP is even better than that. It's an agreement to buy their product at almost double the market price. So with all that said, this is the play. If you wanted to have a talk, there's a link down below to selfadvisors.com. Take a look at that free 15-minute call. If you want to talk day trading, there is a verified $9 million trader I want to introduce you to. I'll log into his broker right now and show you that it's real. Pretty incredible results. Day trading is not my current cup of tea, but if you want to make large amounts of money in a short time with higher risk, that's why people do it. No guarantees, but here's Adam.